Hello again and welcome to video number 4. So far we've created 3 different train lines and now it's time to go underground. And this of course means that I will be creating the Helsinki metro line number 2. Why number 2? Why not number 1? Well, the reason is simple. Line number 2 is shorter and it covers most of the stretch of line 2. The Helsinki metro starts from somewhere around here and ends up with 2 tails, one in Vuosaari and one in Mellunmäki. And line number 2 will run from Mellunmäki all the way to Tapiola in here. So it's a pretty short line with less than 20 stops. I will start building the line from the central railway station, and this is why I want to create it, because I want the passengers to be able to change from the metro to the railroad. Now the station is actually called Rautatientori, and it's one of the rare stations because it has a name in 3 languages. Now the next stop is very close. It's in Kamppi, which is basically, well, just a few blocks away. This is a very important station too, because both the regional bus terminal and the long distance bus terminal are located in the same shopping center where the station is located. So that is going to be massive. Now, there we have the first stretch. The distances are very short in here, although I must admit that the distance between the next stop is a lot longer. Now one second, because there is a western flank and that's my former office. That means the station must be in here, but just to make sure I will make sure. Yes, that's exactly where I thought it was. I can run the route pretty freely underneath the city. There is nothing that would collide with it in here, which makes it also a pretty quick build, because, well, you don't have to watch out for anything. I will have to put in the signals though, because both lines will run with a 5-minute interval at the quickest. So there may be some congestion unless I do this. There may be some congestion anyway. So Ruoholahti is going to be Lauttasaari, and it's most likely in there. This western part of the city is a bit more foreign for me. But it should be around there. My voice is so tired that I already got tired of yapping, so this video will be a bit more quiet, but I will nevertheless build. I will shut up and build. Would that be fine? And well, I hope that's fine with you. There we go. That's a good start, isn't it? And next, we have a station in here. It's a bit of a strange station, as there really is. It's not a very sort of a big area, but they have big plans for it. So maybe one day there will be a reason why there is a station in here. The Western Metro's first stage was built less than 10 years ago. I think, if I remember correctly, I mean time just passes so quickly. It wasn't a major success exactly. There were massive problems with the project, and a lot of delays, inflated expenses, you name it. So, yep. There we go. That's the way. This is one of the few stations, again in Helsinki, with a name in 3 languages. Because it's an international university, that's the reason. And for me it actually seems reasonable enough. Don't you think? the terminus is in here. Of course, the line continues, but we are not continuing it this time. This time it is strictly the M2 we are creating. The time for M1 will come a bit later. Why? Because M2 is at the moment enough for me to continue building lines in the city center, and I don't want to create lines before I need to create them. I mean, I don't want to push an unnecessary amount of passengers to the city center from the west-west until the infrastructure in the city center is complete. Now, the following metro station is around there, and we'll continue with the track for a short while over there, but we'll also create an underground sort of turning track here, where the trains can then rotate, because there is a loop like this. Even in reality, there is a loop like this underground. That's a fact. So, well, the western end has now been constructed, and now we'll move on towards the east, where the distances will be even shorter. And as you can see, there is once again a station with a name in 3 languages. So these are actually it. There are no more. So it's the airport, it's the central railway station, and it's 2 universities, and that's it. And once again, I'm creating this very quickly because I know these places. I use the metro every time I leave home. No matter what the direction, the metro is the quickest and most practical way of transport, because it runs every 5 minutes at its best, meaning that it's actually 2.5 minutes, because both of the lines stop at my stop. Now it becomes interesting, because in here the metro isn't running underground, it's actually running above the ground, and this station is elevated. And it's elevated all the way there when it reaches ground level, and it goes through this cave between roads, and after that it goes underground. Okay, so there we go. Creating the metro so far has been fairly quick. The issues will then come in the east, where I rarely go to. Don't ask me why, I just have no business going in there. The east is not my place. My place is downtown. Or, to be frank, this is as east as I'll go. And here in the east, the metro is running above the ground, so it's really like an ordinary HSL city train. This is one of my favorite views on the Helsinki metro network, the one opening up from this bridge to the north. I mean upwards on this map. It's just simply lovely. So we're actually pretty close to completing it. I did say 17 stations, and that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 4 more stations, and the next one I know by heart. Helsinki is a nice place. I used to go to therapy in there. Done, and then we just need to keep it underground until around there, and once again move above ground. This line is gonna be expensive as fuck. I'm sorry for my language, but that's the way it is. And why am I always complaining about money? I could play with 0, or I could play in sandbox mode. I don't want to play in sandbox mode. I actually want each line to be profitable, and that's why I'm putting up shit on my Excel, because I'm calculating when the lines will be profitable. Just don't ask me why. I'm just that way. I love Excels. I have loads of them. And I am sort of addicted to them. I've been doing Excels on about everything since I was 10 years old. No. I think the next station is over here. And it should be, but I will just check it once again, because yep, I am, like I said, I have a map open in the browser, and that's where I check things to get them correct. The funny thing is, when I started I had a loan of 1 billion, and after this line more than half of it has been used. And like I said, I want the lines to be profitable, so that's why I don't build metro line number 1 now. I am going to build something smaller, and I hope that I will have enough money to keep on building until I get what I want. Because these massive cases of traffic infrastructure are gonna cost me a lot. This is actually an interesting junction of highway and metro, and there will be quite juggling because a lot of buses will be traveling about that place. So I would just have to move traffic to a lot of levels. But after this, it's just three stations left, because the metro track is splitting in Itäkeskus, and that's where the southern route will go down there, and I will take the route going up here. And like I said, three stops left, and the first one will be here. It's actually above ground. Yes. Two stations left. Isn't it wonderful? I kind of like building these tracks. I kind of like building these stations, but still I'm always happy when I complete a line. I mean, if I could complete a line in 2 clicks, I would do it. But unfortunately, it's not possible. So I will be doing it the hard way then, but you have to remember, each line is easier than the previous one, because most likely because it's a network. Most likely parts of it have already been created, which is frankly is wonderful. So the second last one is it over here? Yes. And you have to remember, when the metro in Helsinki started, this was the only line. I mean, the southern line didn't exist. It also, well, this line also did not extend to Tapiola. It ended up in the western city center, but nevertheless, this was the terminus. And when I was a child, I mean, I was 5 or 6 years old, and I visited Helsinki with my family. I wanted to travel through all the metro stations in the town, and I did it. And I used to eat hard lollipops. They were square shaped, or not quite square shaped, but they were sort of very hard and not very tasty, but they were the best that there was, because I got to visit all metro stations back in 1995. And when we add the trains to this this building project, I think we will reach a good 200 million, if not more. But who cares? Metro line number 2 is ready, and there is, I mean, now I built local trains, now I've been building the metro line, and there is still one form of rail cars which we haven't touched, and we will get to that in the next video, because next I will start building trams. I will not yet disclose what kind of trams it will be and which line of trams it will be, but there will be trams. So I will now construct it, and this will cost a whopping 143 million for me. And I will just put it on my Excel. Let's 3 for 1. Now let's start buying. No, let's create a line. Let's create a line, and that line is called M2. I will put the same basic price on the line as everywhere else, but the color will now change. The metro in Helsinki is of course orange. And we start from here, and then we go all the way through the city to the west. I'm actually wondering whether I should build the second metro line now, but not quite yet. I think I'll still take my time, because it just, you know, I just feel like taking my time. And if it feels like it, it's probably a good idea. But this will again shift the focus of traffic to the central railway station, which I am basically very happy about, because I don't like the Pasila area and I want the central railway station to be the #1 traffic hub in town, which it in reality is. It's just that at the moment, because there are no buses and no trams yet, it's not ready. The metro trains also have 3 cars. The base color is orange and the decals are orange. So it's basically all orange. Do we have any decals? Well, they're all the same, but they're orange. And those we will call them with the call sign. They're called M1. No, they're not. They're called M100. That's the way they should be called. Right. I'm sorry. I'm starting to get a bit tired, but we need a 5-minute interval, and we currently have 1 hour and 24 minutes. So I think we do need quite a big amount of trains to fix that. And that also means that I will certainly not be building the M1 line yet, because I want to build other things first. And these are slightly too expensive for comfort, so let's just say that we'll take our time with the next metro line. Shall we? We still need to double the amount of these trains, and that's awful, to be honest. 8:24. I don't even want to know how many trains I need to buy to line 1 in order to keep the 5-minute interval, because that will be a lot of trains. 14 is not enough on this short stretch. Is 15 enough? Not enough. What about 16? Still not enough. What about 17? Bingo! Metro line number 2 has been successfully created. I hereby thank you for this video, and we'll be back with a tram line. Let's see what that will bring us to, shall we?